Hi friends, welcome to another video of What Gives You Joy. Today we are going to look at Nokia 6 which Nokia just recently launched. There are two prices for this phone. You can find it on Amazon.in at around 14,999 rupees and on TataClick.com you'll get at around 13,900 rupees. So I got it from 13,900 from Tata Click. So let's start it. Let's get it unboxed. So this is my order which I got. This is the phone at 13,899. I got my Amazon order first and I cancelled it because one of my friend told me about this, that you're getting it on Tata Click at a cheaper price. So why not order and wait for a little more day. Uh, so this is the box which I have for Nokia, and it seems very good, pretty impressive. The configuration, you can have a look at it. It's a 7.1 Nougat, and you have the aluminum body, 4G LTE, 3GB RAM, 32GB storage, and 16 megapixel primary camera with dual tone flash. And the front camera is 8 megapixel autofocus, as it says, and the processor is 64-bit octa-core processor of Snapdragon. The processor, when you look onto the configuration part in some sites, is says in the reviews, it is said that it's a little old for today, the processor. But I see when a company produces a phone and the RAM and processor goes hand in hand. I mean, if the RAM is 3GB, why do you need a processor which is like advanced and is capable to handle a 8GB RAM or a 4GB RAM? Because this is not a computer, and this is a mobile in which we don't have an option to increase our RAM or have an option to reconfigure the phone. So, and the most impressive thing about the phone is that you have Dolby Atmos as the speakers. It has 5.5-inch display and on 108p. So let's start unboxing. So this is the phone. You'll get a tape over here. You need to cut that up and just simply slide the phone. Okay, so in the box you get the handset, and you get the pen to for the SIM tray, to check the SIM tray, and the manual. And let's see what's in this box, because I actually didn't look into it. uh, so this is, I guess it'll be a charger. The charger is a USB charger, and so this is the configuration. It's a 2 ampere charger. When it says 2 ampere, 5 volt 2 ampere, and it's a very impressive charger, as I do have a OnePlus which does provides a 2 ampere charger also, and it's very fast charging. You get the cable with it, that's for the charger and for data transfer purposes. It's a good quality cable. The earpiece, I think, is not that impressive, because nowadays in earpieces are very good and in fashion. I mean, in trends. But you can always opt for another head leads, actually, because earphones are not the motive behind buying this phone. It's the phone that we are buying, so we should be concerned about this. The body looks nice, and it is on complete packing. It's completely packed. Just the tray and the area with the buttons is not packed. uh, so what we can do is we can open this phone while this is packed, and that way you will not harm the screen and you will not harm the body at this moment, and you can get it covered by a tempered glass or whatever shields that you want, or any cover. uh, let's just turn on the phone and see what are the things. So here it says powered by Android. It's taking time. Okay, Nokia. So it seems impressive. I love the icon of Nokia. I mean, it's quite impressive and classy. Screen or not? Yes, it's English India. Let's okay. Okay, it's operatable from this. Okay, nice thing. I'll skip the inserting SIM card, and I don't want to copy my data. I'll start. Okay, let's just start with the phone. Awesome. The phone's the wallpaper is awesome, and it seems much like Android, but on Nokia it just feels good. I mean, it's different. The icons looks a little different. I don't know about Nougat, but I am using it for the first time. Probably this is what Nougat is. Um, the phone seems to be quite responsive at the moment, and it seems like they have done a stock ROM and stock Nougat, and it looks good. Uh, so I think it's a good phone at this moment. Let's just have a test of like how does the camera looks, and how many functions are there, and whether there is zoom or not. On zoom, if I focus on it, yes, it's working. uh, the HDR mode is there. They have auto HDR, and the flash is there. Probably the screen is not that responsive because I do have the cover on place, um, but then they have compass level and everything else. um, I guess mainly go with the review of the camera, because that's the main thing that people do look nowadays in a phone. Before going a few more things about the phone, I mean, let's just do this. The mini micro SD port is down there on the phone with the fingerprint sensor, you see, and you have the 3.5 sound port on this on the top. Uh, let's just try out the fingerprint sensor. I mean, I was just trying with the polythene on that. I just found out that that's not any covering over there, and I need to remove that. I just removed it and set up the Wi-Fi, and let's just hear the voice, I mean the sound on the phone. So yeah, I'll just play this up. Google Duo, rated the highest quality video calling app. And the sound is quite impressive when you see it's Dolby Digital. So it has two speakers. One is here, and the front on the front. This speaker is also. So the speaker looks good, and I mean it's quite impressive. There, this speaker and the front on earpiece also act as a speaker once you are on the mode on the phone mode, and the sound is quite impressive. The Nokia logo, and the phone looks classy. It's aluminum body. Um, and let's just go ahead with setting up a fingerprint sensor and see how does that looks too. I'll just go ahead and lock my screen first, and okay, so this is asking. I think it's impressive. I mean, it's not that slow that people says, because uh, I lock it and I'll unlock it. So yes, the screen does opens slow, but I don't think the screen does unlocks in like there is any delay in the unlocking of the screen. Yes, there might be a problem with the ROM or the software that Nokia can provide any update for, and then probably it will be a little faster. But for now, I guess it's not that slow. You can see from yourself. So friends, this is the front camera that I'm recording the video with, Nokia 6, and it seems to be pretty impressive in the daylight. I mean, it's around like 5:30 p.m. and around 6 it'll get dark. So according to that, the camera quality looks good. This is the front camera, which is 8 megapixel autofocus, but the app that Nokia has provided with it, it's not the stock camera. So I would recommend that you should install the stock camera, because this camera doesn't provide much of the features to use. It just says the slow-mo, and you can get there is another additional option which is quite impressive into it, which is of recording your video at a much faster rate. So you can have the sample of that if I stop the video and record it once. That was a nice feature, isn't it? I just thought that the voice would get recorded, but it didn't, as I was recording on 3x. I guess 2x would be recording the sound, but I am not willing to try that out right at this moment. To make the video short, let's jump onto the back camera. So this is the 16 megapixel camera which is there, and you can have a look at it. The film goes a little shaky when I move that around, but once it is in place, it gets the autofocus on time without wasting any time. And zoom in, if I do a zoom in, then it's the maximum zoom that I'm zooming in at this moment. And if I try to focus on any of the things at this moment, probably in zoom it won't work that well, but when you go out and you zoom in, the camera quality is little deteriorating as in all the cameras. But yes, 16 megapixel is good camera. You can just vouch for yourself. I think in the daylight or in the light that has been there at this moment, it's pretty impressive, because most of the camera fails to recognize things that bright. Plus the camera's colors are pretty much real when you compare it to the reality of objects, and it's very good. So that was the camera of the phone, and now jumping on to the other feature. I mean, everyone knows about the fingerprint sensors now, and every now and then you'll find it the same. Everyone is responsive, and I don't think so. Any fingerprint, if it's slow and if it's slow by a millisecond, does make a difference to me. To the settings part, where I can see the things, the other settings. So these are the settings, normal stock ROM settings which are there. You can have a look at it by yourself, and I'll just Wi-Fi Bluetooth. It has Bluetooth version 4 SIM cards. So this is a dual SIM phone. You can use two SIMs, or the one SIM slot is hybrid. So either you can use a data card or you can use the second SIM. Both of the SIM slots are VoLTE, and both of them are 4G, so you can use two 4G SIMs at once, and both are active simultaneously. So I mean, when you use data, you'll be using only one. I mean, it can use only one data, only one SIM for the data part, but then you can use any other SIM at any time for the data purposes. Display settings, notification, sound, app, storage that you get into it is exactly 32 GB. I'm quite impressed about it, because I have my other phones which actually says 32 GB, 16 GB or 64 GB, but it doesn't shows it really. It just lags around, like if you go with 64 GB, it'll show you around 62 point something GB. If you go around like 16 GB phone, then it'll show you around 15 point something GB. So always there is a lag in the storage as it shows, but it is like exact 32 GB. I mean, that's quite impressive. Regarding the battery part, let's just jump onto it, and it says that approx 5 hours left. That because I have used till now I have used it for 23 minutes, and whatever I have used it, it's has the display on, so probably this is the time that it gets while you keep the display on. So that's 5 hours for the display on time. I guess standby time would be a day at least. So you can have all, I mean, it's the stock ROM, so the user settings and everything would be good. It does have a tap and pay functionality which Samsung introduced initially, but now it is available on all the phones which does have NFC. So the phone has NFC, so you can opt for that too, tap and pay, and you need to add your cards over here, and you can go ahead with that. And the phone has gestures. So to quickly open camera, press the power button twice. to and works from any screen. So that is like if you have opened even the settings actually. So if I have opened the settings and I'll just double tap it so to see whether it works or not. So okay, it does works. The camera is open and you can see, I mean, it's the response is good on that. And when I go back, it just went back to the screen that I was on. That's quite good thing. Um, that was the screen. Um, let's go on to motion. What is motion? Okay, so you have two motions into it, that is turn over to reject call and mute on pickup. We'll try these motions right now on how to turn over to reject call. So this is the feature that it does have. If your phone is ringing, you just need to turn off to reject the call. So no button required. Let's just try it. So this is a sample call coming, and if I turn on the phone, it does vibrates and tells me that the phone has been hung up. And mute on pickup. So this is simply when you pick up the phone and you want to turn it on mute. So it says when the phone is horizontal and starts ringing, the ringtone will be muted when the phone is picked up. So that means you don't need to put it on silent. You just need to pick it up so that the phone knows that the user is now aware that a phone call is coming, and it puts it on mute mode. So let's just try that phone too. Try that option too. So it's ringing now, and I just picked it up, and it went on to the mute mode. So that's quite good, and the response is also good. Nice feature that Nokia has added. Um, there is a location, security, accounts. So all simple things, all basic things that is there. So that's it, the review of Nokia 6. The aluminum body looks fine. If you're looking for a classy looking phone, do go with Nokia 6. And I mean, the quality is quite impressive. It's an aluminum body and nice phone. If you do have any questions or queries, do ask them in the comment section. Thank you.